My gosh. We are now at the final episode of the show Farscape. Before we would we're gonna look at the the Farscape special, the Peacekeeper War. So this time we're looking at the episode Bad Timing. With the final episode of the series. What was this about? When the scarrans discover the wormhole to Earth, the crew of Moya must beat them there and find a way to stop them. Failure means certain doom for the human race, but could the cost for success be too great? I'm going to be honest and say this episode is a perfect way to end a series. At the same time, perhaps at the time, folks were say, "What? No!" Because of how it ends, and at the same time, when I get to that point, the episode is a bit of a tearjerker. And at the same time, I'm going to say this, that when it finally got to that moment, I was just so... Oh my gosh, it got to me so emotionally, man. It got to me. And at the beginning of the episode, we have Scorpius and Charon, I believe. They end up getting kicked off of Moy and basically say, hey, now go away. Go away, and because Scorpius's right hand man basically was say, do not take off a hair. If any little hair on Scorpius's head is damaged, we shall blow you to kingdom come. And yeah, that ends up happening, and what ends up happening is that John is trying to figure out what can be done to, say, hey, when it comes to the wormhole technology, and at the same time stopping the scarrans as well. And whether it's, say, the sequence in which, he is, destroying, he's trying to do what would be considered calligraphy or something like that, and he ends up destroying a, he's trying to figure out a map or a bit of detail to try to figure out what's going on and all that.
It's not 12. It's not 12! Pilot, how come we haven't starburst? We need starburst!
And I think what this episode does fairly well about is all the dramatic elements of it. At the same time, I did think the beginning of the episode, in which we have a recap of the entire show, it is a bit say, calm down. It feels like we're fasting for an entire thing. And, I mean, we are. I guess it's just it's a lot, I will say. Because it's say, and it's say, and now, on Farscape. And one thing I kind of really enjoy about this episode is that the dramatic elements of this one really work. I really think that, whenever there's trying to be a moment of, say, hey, a dramatic moment for the story, say, when, John calls his dad, what ends up happening is John ends up, saying, okay, he tells Pilot, say, hey, I'm going to go through the wormhole. I'm gonna land on the moon and all that, so that the portal will be open, and it's gonna break. And when he's calling his dad and all that, oh,
You're gonna find. When you have your own, you want them to pass you. You better climb higher. I guess if that's the measure, I'm the greatest dad on Earth.
I would say I thought that really kind of got to me emotionally, especially the sequence in which, like, John is like saying, "Hey, Dad, it's gonna be too late. You and Earth don't have enough time, and all that." And he's like telling him, and John's dad telling him, "Hey, I love you," and blah blah blah. And I thought, oh gosh. I suppose the reason why they got to me though is, I guess, like, say when my dad had passed, I didn't really get the. I mean, I said goodbye, but his health was really bad, so I did not get to hear him say it either. Mostly because, like, he had lost the ability to. And I will say that the final act of this episode, in which John and Aaron, they end up in a boat, and anyway, like, saying, "Hey, we're talking about the future," like their relationship with each other, and saying, like, "Hey," she's starting to say, "Yes, I'm pregnant with your kid," and all that.
Well, that changes everything. We're gonna have a baby! Yeah! For you! We are gonna have a baby!
And it's just like, say, it's like you get this little happy moment in this show because both of these characters finally get their happy moment in this show. And at the same time, when they're finally having that moment of comfort with each other, it ends up getting taken away when they get shot at and atomized, I guess. Like, their particles basically just turn to little solid pieces. And basically that's when Dargo goes like say no, and I'm like say, here comes the waterworks. Here comes the waterworks. So yeah, I thought this episode was really good. It was so dang well executed. The acting is great. The way we're still have some bits of humor at times. Like, say there's a sequence in which John and Scorpius are dressed as like Easter bunnies.
You want me to fail, don't you? Quite the contrary, John. Should your planet fall victim, I would not wish to reside in the head that blames itself.
And all that, it's kind of... This is why the show can be funny at times. But at the same time, the show also is able to blend its dramatic moments of it so well that it works so darn well that you barely notice it, but you love it. I mean, you notice it, but it works so well. And this is why, at least I think it is, that this finale is the best one for a show. At least compared to, like, say, the finale to The Next Generation, or Star Trek. So yeah, this was really good. I'll see you next time.